From Brisbane, Australia, this is episode 88 of The Normal Blokes, a podcast dedicated to improving the competitive 40k experience. I'm Dineeth, and today we've got Luke.
Hey guys.
And Liam.
Good evening.
All right, so it's good to be back, guys. We've had a long time between drinks. It's been like 3 weeks since our last ep, so I'm glad we could get together and record. We just had a GT on the weekend, the Gladiator Gaming GT, that Luke won. He went 5-0.
Hey.
So, yeah. What were you playing, Luke? Tell the masses.
Nothing that anyone will care about at the moment. Just Drakari.
Never heard of that codex, mate. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Are they good?
Are they good? Yeah.
Oh, look, they take a lot of skill to play. So, yeah.
But no, if you wanted to catch Luke's games, I mean, we might even talk about a little bit of that today on today's episode. But if you want to catch his games, a couple of his stream games are on the Art of War Down Under Twitch channel, commentated by the lovely Nick Standing and Aaron Green. So, if you guys want to catch his games, check that out. But congratulations again, Luke. Is that your first
Thanks.
GT win?
I think it is, to be honest. I don't think that maybe there's been one in the past, but I can't remember. But normally I'm either like around third or fourth place. Normally I get just miss out on the podium. As Matt Morrizzoli will let me know.
Did Luke just never heard of himself?
I think so.
Pretty much.
I think so. But yeah, Luke, you're classic for going 4-0 and then catching like Hayden Waldock and just getting turn 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Hayden Waldock. Normally, like 90% of the time when I'm playing a tournament with Eric, I'll get him in the last round or something like that, or in round 4. Otherwise, it'll be Simon or someone. So
yeah.
I always fly out too close to the sun and then burn my wings off.
Oh, geez. And Liam, you took a pretty sick chaos list to this GT and did all right.
Yeah, look, I took a bit of a Monster Mass Chaos list, and it turns out you need infantry models to play the mission. Who knew? It actually slowed me down ever so slightly. But yeah, no, my list is definitely for teams, which was very, very apparent on my second day. I ran the gauntlet day 1, and day 2, my luck ran out.
Well, speaking of teams, the main topic of this episode is the Victorian Team Challenge, the VTC, that me and Liam and Jordan, who's not on the show, but we're all going down to Victoria this weekend to play. It's a 4-man team event, and they've got a whopping 26 teams. It's a 5-round event. And if you've listened to our episodes about team events, it follows a similar format. You know, with 4-man teams, you have a champion and there's a pairings process. You select tables. But I guess on this episode, me and Liam are going to discuss the teams that we're taking down. I'm captaining my team. You're captaining yours, Liam?
Certainly am, man. Yeah. Certainly am.
Cool. So we'll talk about, I guess, the choices we made for our lineup. We've both of our teams have actually mixed things up compared to the last few Gladiator Gaming tournaments. And then we'll go through the lists and highlight a few things, look at the meta, how it is and what's prevalent, and point out a couple of interesting lists. But Liam, you can kick it off, mate. Tell everyone about your team and what you guys are bringing.
Woohoo! So I'm the captain of the team, Tallhammer, which I've loved that name. We've repped that name a couple of times, and we've been to the Newey team events, and we're super excited to take that name back down to Victoria, which would be awesome fun. So on my team is myself, Ben Warrior, Brian Lakeland, and Lachlan Carter. We got a pretty good spread of lists, so I'm really, really happy about the list that these guys are bringing, with the reasonable exception, actually, of my list now, unfortunately. But look, it is what it is. We've submitted it now, and it's locked in. So I'm playing a Chaos Monster Mass list, which is 1,000 Suns with some sprinkled Slaneshi demons in there. So, you know, Double Keeper, Magnus the Red, Aramana Sorcerer, 20 Rubrics. And that's pretty much it, actually. It's very, very elite, and it's designed to sort of play against other elite armies that don't like mortal wounds. Then we've got Ben Warrior, who's playing Death Guard. He's playing a bit of a different take on the Death Guard armies. He's got a couple of Plague Marine units in Rhinos, Morty, and some other characters to sort of back that up. And his list there is probably more of an all-comers list, but it's really, really good against armies that sort of like to focus shooting. Then we've got Lachlan Carter. He's playing Raven Guard, sort of classic Raven Guard with Vanguard vets and a few other units sprinkled throughout. Really wants to go first and really wants those dense tables. And then last but not least, we have Brian Lakeland, who's played a Never Heard of Your army. It's called Drukhari, and he's got at least one Talos in that list, which makes it very, very difficult to pair around. Look, I've played in teams events with these guys before. I trust all. I trust all four of those guys, all three of those guys. I'm good at counting with everything except my chicken nuggies in the case of Ben. And other than that, look, I'm looking forward to the event. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, nice, dude. And it's cool that a few teams are actually experimenting with the covens outside of Dark Technomancers. I know the Artists of Flesh, which is a neg 1 damage coven, is starting to show its head. And we saw at the Gladiator Gaming GT that when Drukhari played into the mirror, if one player had the Artists of Flesh detachment, it really threw the maths on stuff like Incubi, on stuff like the liquefiers in Dark Techno. It just bumped the damage down, and they could just weather the storm a bit more. I know one of our players, Sam, was
100%.
Yeah, Sam was like, "Bro, I don't know what to do into this Talos matchup." So we're keeping him out of Brian if we play you guys. But,
I think one of the really the really tough things, I guess, about Drukhari is that as a codex, it does such crazy amounts of damage. But just sort of putting those the neg 1 damage coven into your list adds that honestly almost Death Guard level durability to an army that already does crazy damage, and that tech, ironically, is, as you said, really helps you against that kind of all-prevalent Technomancer stuff. So I think it's really, really valuable tech, especially for a team's environment, because at the moment, I guess from my perspective, the best counter to Drukhari is more Drukhari.
It's Artists, yeah. Yeah, and
it's,
Luke, you had some success with them, hey?
Yeah, so I ran the neg 1 damage. I ran 2x5 squads of Grotz on the weekend, and they just... I found in the trading game, what the problem was when I played in the mirror for my opponents is that they'd have all these squishy, high damage infantry units in boats that would have to go up to the objective and probably get out of the boat or stand up while inside the boat and do their damage. Whereas I was able to deboat them, and once they're deboated, they're just T4 1 wound models with a 5-up feel no pain or something like that. But when you have something that can trade more efficiently, like the Grotz, you don't really care. You can man up with the Grotz and then keep your infantry safe in the vehicle still.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the trade that I was always forcing on the weekend. And I found, the neg 1 damage Grotz, probably MVP in Drukhari lists at the moment.
They're insane, hey.
That's
like
fair.
I played them at the last team event, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised no one else is playing them because they are just so ridiculous to put down.
Yeah, 5 flat attacks, basically hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
It's insane, and you can 2 CP reroll failed wounds. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah. No, I'm keen to see
They
more
hit like
people
an
pick it up.
absolute.
Yeah, dude, it's like
Yeah,
getting
they
hit
do.
by a Repentia unit. Like, it's mental.
Yeah,
The thing that I find like most crazy about all of this stuff is like, regardless of their profile, you literally add Harlequin special rules on top. Turn 2, your army's advancing and charging, right? So whenever you look at a profile, everything's fast. There's no like exception that even the slow units are fast.
Yeah.
So you really just look at these kind of meaty, hitty units like Talos and Grotz, and I think we'll be seeing more and more of them as time goes on.
Yeah, I'll be really keen to see how it pivots. But yeah, I guess moving on to our team, our lineup's changed a little bit for VTC. I've got me on Marines as usual. I'll come back to that one in a moment. We got Wayne, who I can't get rid of him. It's like a bad rash. Wayne's just
a bad
stuck.
stink.
Yeah, he's just stuck to my side. That Wayne is taking the ridiculous 100+ Poxwalkers list with Death Shroud and Blightlords. So Wayne's going to be an awesome shield for us. He's going to help out, and we're going to throw him into some of the hard games and hope he can score some points. We've got Sam Rubino, who's playing pretty much the list he played at the GT, a Dark Eldar list, Drukhari list with a lot of flamers, a lot of liquefier flamers, and 2 Court of the Archon that he's having a lot of fun with. He's pretty much swapped the Artist Grotesque detachment to have the Court of the Archon, which is really cool because he gets a Trueborn boat and the 2 Court. But he adds a bit of versatility. really enjoys the ability to have all the Blackheart Lancers and Trueborn to help in the Drakari mirror to just deboat a bit faster. He finds that really good. So he's going to be, a big sword list in our team. And we've got a new addition, Nick Argent, who's been doing super well at recent events. He went 4-1 at the GT, and he's on Chaos Knights with the double Megara and Moirak/Helvrin list, which is absolutely ridiculous in terms of his firepower. So we're gonna be having a lot of fun pairing him. And I'm playing a very original Blood Angels list that Liam, honestly, I'm having so much fun playing. It's the funnest army ever. It just runs at people.
So, just for a bit of context here, Dineeth and I played a game semi-recently, getting ready for our VTC. Sorry, and when I saw him bring the army in before looking at his list, I could almost describe every single model in that list based on Blood Angel players that I've versed before.
He's like, and this one has this Relic of Warlord trait. He's like, you got Soul Warden too? Yep, double Warlord trait. Like, you knew exactly what was going on. And it's like two Scout Speeders. So I'm trying a bit of new tech. I've got the classic 3 units to Sangard, Vanguard Vet with Claw unit, and then a little Death Company unit to be annoying. Got a little Inceptor unit to do its thing. Got a Whirlwind to help turn stuff off. But I'm trying out a couple of Landspeeder Storms, and in the practice games, they've been a lot of fun. They just zip around, pop scouts into awkward positions, help me with engage, help me with a relentless hunt. And they can be really helpful for the mission when you don't want to commit like a 150-point combat bomb to be in an area. And I'm having a lot of fun with the removing Obsec relic for Blood Angels. It's pretty cool. You just camp a character with that, surrounded by like 5 or 10 Sangard on an objective, so that character can't be declared, for example, by a charge. And then, the Sangard get charged, survive or don't survive, doesn't matter, because that character gives them Obsec and takes away Obsec on the objective. So, I've been having a bit of fun with that, but we'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. Do you have the one where you can force people to target you in combat?
Yeah, so I've got a cheeky little sanguinary priest that has like nothing on him. That's like super naked. Yeah, he's got nothing on him, mate. He's fully naked, just a jump pack. I've just strapped a jump pack to him.
He's just the streaker in the middle of a professional game, just running out, being like, "Somebody kill me! Somebody hit me!"
Yeah. No relics, no Warlord traits, nothing.
Magnus was distracted by that streaker.
It was like, so funny.
Candy. And this all attacks into this one Sang priest. Oh, how many wounds did you take, Liam? 24. But all your Sangard are alive. Excellent. So amazing.
So it's a pretty neat trick. Pretty neat trick throwing that guy out, like heroicing him in. I did it to a Dreadnought charging me today when I was playing a practice game. He jumped over the line, took like 6 attacks from a Dreadnought to the face, just died, and then all the Sangard just killed the Dreadnought. So that little Angel Sacrifice strat's pretty fun. I've also added a bit of tech with the Libby to put an Armor Indominus on him. So worst case, if he tanks the Angel Sacrifice for someone, the Libby can pop Armor Indominus. So I'm keen to see how it goes. I've realised the list actually dies real fucking fast, so I've got to be a little bit smart. But I guess, guys, we can have a look at some lists. I know, Liam, you wanted to talk about a certain NIDS and GSC combo that a couple of players are running.
Oh, I certainly did. So, look, I think there's a number of teams here repping some Art of War names, and one of them is called the Art of War, the Hive Mind. And I feel like the Hive Mind has gotten to the heads of 2 separate players here in Australia, both Eric and Lee Abbey, because their lists are extremely similar, and I like both of them. I really like what's happening here. So look, I think as I promise this tangent will not take very long, but I feel like as codexes get more extreme, especially with Drakari damage and things like that, finding units that trade well or just sort of minimize the scoring has kind of been the way forwards. And I think both of these players have taken an extremely positive attitude to some units that people might have written off a little while ago. So both of them are playing a mixed kind of Genestealer cults and Kraken Tyranids army, which I think is actually really amazing, because the one thing that the Drakari can't do, and the list is very small, is significant out of line of sight shooting. And with the amount of movement these guys have, we're talking 40 inches plus, they can sort of run across the table, hit you pretty hard, and obsec you off objectives, while also having all of these melee units that fight on death for free. That's the Metamorph whips for Genestealer cults. So the idea here is that most of the units will run across the table, take your objectives, and then they're going to try and trade up in those sort of melee battles. Now, because of the durability of a lot of these models, it is not going to survive any sort of one-on-one engagement, but very little can at the moment. So I kind of appreciate what they're trying to do with the lists. I think it's really, really inventive. And obviously, you've got your Lizard Vect there with your Cult of the Forearm Emperor. So I'll go through Eric's list because the lists are quite similar. So Eric's list starts with the GSC detachment, and that's Cult of the Forearm Emperor. As I said before, that's for Lizard Vect. And in that detachment, it's the Patriarch, which is what we've kind of got used to, a unit of 10 Acolyte hybrids, flamers, and then 10 metamorphs with more flamers but the whips, and there's 2 of those units. So these units are pretty great at clearing chaff. Because of Genestealer cult strats, they make charges extremely reliably, and even if they don't get to fight, they fight on death. So this is good for a whole bunch of different things, hitting those dastardly Archons that make you fight last, hitting Incubi that can make you fight last, or even other armies like Death Guard would fight last, or not counting as charging is extremely prevalent too. So there's a couple of different things there that are sort of very well suited to the meta. Then that's quite a small section of the army, even though it's extremely good for tech-wise. The rest of the army is Kraken Tyranids, and it's got a Broodlord, the Swarm Lord. The Swarm Lord's obviously there to make you move twice in a decent melee unit and some psychic buffs. He's then got 16 Genestealers, 13 Genestealers, 8 Genestealers, 5 Tyranid Warriors, a Lictor, and then 2 units of 1 Pyrovore. Why Pyrovores, you ask? Well, little one-man units that cost no points. Actions or hold objectives are always dandy, and the Lictor obviously helps bringing units in from reserve. So this is an army, infantry-wise, that will probably start with around about 40 to 45 infantry models on 32 mils sitting behind a ruin, and that's pretty much where it's going to stay. And it can reach the far board corner in any turn of movement. It can deep strike, 3 inches away from you and shoot you with hand flamers. It can do a whole bunch of different stuff, and it really allows these Tyranid players to have board presence without sacrificing models. It's all sort of explosive damage and explosive movement, and I think that kind of counteracts in many ways the almost pervasive menace of armies like Drukhari and even armies like Admech and Death Guard that can do durability and damage over the course of the game perhaps better than these codexes. And so I think that these lists are actually an extremely good meta call. And for teams as well, there are just going to be lists that can't deal with this sort of thing. That's the good thing about teams. You can sort of take a knife to a gunfight in some of your matchups, and that will obviously serve you quite well. All in all, I love this list, Dineeth and Luke. I think it actually does a really good job. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's so interesting. You look at these little units, and then you realize an army like Drukhari can't trade with this at all, because it'll just come in, deboat, and then stuff will just hit it. And eight Genestealers doesn't sound like a lot, but if you look at what they're running into in terms of little units of Incubi and stuff, they're just going to blow it away. So,
but it's not even just that. Sure, they'll probably kill the Incubi, but also because of the way Drukhari and Death Guard and Admech, because of the way these armies work, there are squishier units that don't do too much damage, and because of the speed of these models, for argument's sake, these Genestealers can move 35 inches across the table, just charge a raider, maybe not kill it, but then pile in onto an objective with more obsec models than you have. And probably the reason, I guess I'm just trying to estimate here, I'm not sure. I reckon the reason they've gone 8-man units is specifically so that you can outnumber 5-man units, 5-man Cabalites, 5-man racks, 5-man whatever the hell on objectives, just so that you can actually cross the table and steal objectives. You don't have to stay alive to deny your opponent's primary. You just have to be there at the start of their turn. And this list does that really well. Exactly. It's going to be really frustrating to actually stop this army from denying you points.
Yeah. Can you imagine an army like Drukhari just putting banners up and then just 2 units of Genestealers running into your face, taking them down, and that just throws your whole game plan?
Oh, yeah. And all the individual single units, good luck doing something like, Purge the Vermin, especially on a dense table. That would be a hard time.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the trend with that whole teams list? If you look at Aaron's list, for example, it kind of does the same thing. There's squads of 10 boys and trucks, storm 5, multiple small units in a lot of these guys' lists. Very interesting take.
Well, I
Yeah.
think and this has kind of been true actually, probably for more than just ninth edition. When armies damage gets buffed to ridiculous extremes, and I think this is actually the case with Ynnari, Luke, back when Ynnari used to be the kingpin, that MSU armies became, or MSU armies or like really cheap expendable units in droves kind of became the way to go because it was the only way to make the damage not relevant. I mean, you can shoot 46 liquefier guns into a bunch of gene stealers and yeah, like that will kill Sangard, but it will also kill gene stealers. And I'd much rather lose some gene stealers than some Sangard, for example. And I know Dineeth feels that pain. And, like I think taking these cheaper units like Aaron's list, which is really cool too, has a lot of these fast MSU units, a lot of OBSEC that I think is some of the best options these codexes have to deal with some of the meta armies at the moment. Do I think it's an easy road? Hell no. But you got to try, and you got to always try and adapt to what the meta will bring. And I think these players have really done that.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. Any other lists that you wanted to point out, Luke? Because I have a couple.
No, I just found Aaron's list very unique. In the fact that it was just 6 squads of 10 boys, 6 trucks, 12 smasher guns, 15 storm boys, 10 commandos, war boss on bike, and a death killer war trike. I just thought it follows the same pattern as the list that Liam just mentioned, in the fact that it's probably just trucks driving around the board, being annoying to kill, not really worth much if they die, and then 10 obsec boys that just advance and charge and get in your lines. Oh, he's Death Skull, so I don't think he'll be advancing and charging. But still, out of a vehicle, 9-inch charge with rerolls, pretty good. And it'll just take off your obsec. Take off your objectives.
It's like the orcs are like, hey, we can do Drukhari better, guys.
Yeah. It'll be annoying.
We had the OG open top transport from 3rd edition, the orc truck.
Watch us shoot pistols out the top.
Yeah,
mate,
all
you
this
haven't
fire.
you haven't faced the fury of the tank buster bomb out of a truck.
Yeah.
That's the real meta.
the Drukhari are like flaming out of a truck, and these guys just lobbing like random bits of scrap and tank buster bombs. It's going to be funny as.
Yeah.
I have a couple of lists that I want to look at. One of them is we're going to just talk about this whole team. It's great. Josh Diffie's Custodes and Sisters list is really cool. So he's got a Shadowkeeper's Patrol, Shield Captain, three Guardians, Vexilla, but he's got a big unit of 9 Virtus Praetors with Melter, with the salvo launchers. But he's also got the Relic, the Castellan's Mark, on the Vexilla's Praetor, which means he can do a pre-game redeploy with the bike, so he can play them super aggressive, and if he's going, he ends up going second, he can pull them back into his line, or opposite, he can start up really cagey, and then if he's going first, he throws them forward. So it's a really cool little relic he can have with the bikes, and then he's got a Bloody Rose detachment to follow up. So 2 Repentia units, 2 Seraphim units, and some Sisters on foot. So I'm really keen to see how this goes. It doesn't look like it has a lot of board presence, but it's super fast. Like, this army can cross the board incredibly quickly. And, adding Miracle Dice to the Sisters, with the Custode support is awesome. What do you guys reckon about this one?
I think one of the great things about... Oh, sorry, you go, Luke.
Oh, I was just going to say, I really like the Virtus Praetors with 9 Melter.
Dude,
I think that's
awesome.
a cool idea.
Yeah.
It's high quality shots just coming out.
I think one of the sick things about a list like this, right, is that, first of all, the salvo launchers like to pop Drukhari boats, but also you're kind of comboing here the objective power of Sisters, as in holding objectives and sort of having more MSU units with those big meaty units. And this army has CP to fuel it. Like, he could totally just do the 2 CP, turn off reroll strat every shooting phase on that big unit and not really be bothered by the cost. You could do that for 4 turns for 8 CP. It's got the mileage to do it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And no one's going to overcharge their plasma into this unit. No one's going to, risk killing their own guys if all of a sudden, if he's like,
Hell
boom,
no.
turn off free rolls. So I was like, oh, well, all my Inceptors are dead. So, yeah, I'm super excited to see how it is. Obviously, Josh Diffie, very knowledgeable guy, very experienced player. The other list I wanted to talk about was in the Brody's team. Chad Guard was Alexander Anglezos, his AdMech list. This motherfucker, if you're listening, good on you. You're bringing an AdMech Lucius Brigade. This is sick. So he's got a Dominus, an Engineer, Manipulus. He's got the Solar Flare on the Manipulus, and that Manipulus is reroll hits as a Warlord trait. And, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's got 11 units of Skitarii Vanguard. So he's got 55 Vanguard just running around. He's got 2 units of Shooty Priests, 9 man units. A unit of 5 Ruststalkers, which will be great for doing actions. He's got a unit of Taraxi Sterilizers, the Flamer jump chicken dudes, the Batmen that can go up and down from reserves. And then he's got 2 units of Cerberus Raiders and a unit of Sulphur Hounds. On top of that, he's got a unit of Castellan Robots and 2 Onager Dune Crawlers with the Neutron Laser. So 2 big tanks and some robots in the backfield to shoot, and then just stacks and stacks of MSU. It's like, I'm not even going to count the wounds, but it's just this thing will like fill up a deployment zone. The one thing I like about this is Lucius has a relic, the Solar Flare, to teleport a character. I think it's up to 30 inches, so you can set up a big push from one side, and then just that reroll character can teleport over and everything charges in. The other cool thing is the Lucius Canticle, the specific Canticle, is +1 invos. So Alex can have a turn of Shroud Psalm where he's in cover, and then a key turn maybe towards the end of the game where he can just pop 5-up invo on his whole army, and that's something else. You're trying to kill all these infantry models with that. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. It seems like it could be played very, very cagey and very defensive on a lot of missions and still do really well. So, yeah.
I think the interesting thing about something like that as well is that this is kind of going back to the attitude of more bodies is never really a bad thing. I mean, thin their ranks is a hard secondary to score, even against an army like Wayne's, for example, that has 100 in inverted comma expendable units. Expendable models, rather. But you look at an army like this and you're like, oh yeah, I'd probably take thin their ranks or something like that. I mean, I don't think it actually bleeds it easily.
I think you only get like 7 or 8 points if you table this whole army.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's totally a waste of your time to try and do something like that. But I think a lot of people dismiss armies like this because in their head they go, oh, no, it's got too many models, it's got too many units, it's going to bleed too many secondary points. I think it's kind of a false sense of security. Something like this is pretty damn good at playing the mission.
Oh, yeah. And it's if let's say a big sword list goes up, let's say a Blood Angels list or like a Raven Guard list goes up, and they get paired into this, how's that army gonna, push a 20 on a list like this, can do stuff on its own? It's got these 2 units of dogs to fall back when you're declared as a charge and stuff. It's got a lot of stuff to stop melee armies and hide and score against shooty armies. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. There's actually one really quickly army in the Painters team, David Umana. And now David, I don't know if you guys remember, but David was part of the Vic ATC team when we went over to Perth. He was playing Harlequins, I believe. And he's got a Tridar list. So he's got, a Dark Technomancer's Patrol. Then he's got a Harlequins Patrol, and then a Harlequins, I think it's a battalion. It's a patrol. Sorry, a Harlequins Patrol. And then he's got a Spearhead of Eldar, so Craftworld Eldar. So he's got some Shadow Weaver support platforms.
Wait, did you say Craftworld Eldar?
Yeah, dude.
What's going on?
It's a Tridar list. So he's got 3 Shadow Weaver support platforms, a Night Spinner, a Falcon, and then 3 units of Dark Reapers with, all Reaper launchers and the Exarch with Rapid Shot. I believe that's a double shooting power, or the double shooting Exarch power. And then he's got a Farseer Scariner with Doom Executioner. And it's in a custom craft world with Expert Crafters Masterful Shots. Now, that's the reroll, hit, wound, and ignore cover. Hey, Luke.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And then he's got a Soaring Spite detachment with 3 units of players and 3 boats. So fusion players running around. Shuriken players running around. And then he's got a Rax detachment with Dark Technos, 3 Rack units, a couple of Raiders. So he's got like the Harlequin boats, the Eldar boats, plus Night Spinners and Shadow Weaver platforms. So it's just mech everywhere. This is going to be fun as to play.
That actually sounds. I mean, this list is a combination of like I think it's good, but it's also a blast from the past.
Yeah,
like this
dude.
is
is like
an awesome list that I would totally have expected it. Yeah, like CanCon 2019. This is going to be repping on some of the top tables.
Yeah,
That's
but
good.
It's so cool because there's no like focal point of this list. Like it's just like you got the Flamer boats, then you got the Harley boats with OBSEC. So you've got Racks hopping out with OBSEC, and then you've got players hopping out with OBSEC, and then like who's going to target a Night Spinner, some Dark Reapers, and some Shadow Weaver platforms in the back when all this stuff is getting shoved down your throat. I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wonder how
absolutely.
they're going to find that use of the Drakari, because obviously they're taking Drakari, all 3 of those books off the roster.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how their team does, because obviously we know Drakari is a bit of a boogeyman at the moment.
Well, they would lose Power from Pain there, hey.
Yeah, that's right. I'm pretty sure you need to be a whole army for Power from Pain for that.
So
now.
it's just making use of Dark Techno there, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
man. So in terms of teams, guys, actually really quickly we'll do primary faction breakdown. So the most prevalent faction, I think there's 104 lists all up. The most prevalent faction is Death Guard with 13 lists. So every second team has a Death Guard player out of 26 teams. So it takes up 12% of the meta. The next is Drakari with 12 lists. So 11% of the meta. Almost every second team has a Drakari list. They're all red for me. So please don't give me Drakari, guys. Then Necrons is still going strong. 9 Necron lists, so about a third of the field has a Necron player. 7 Sisters lists, 7 Adeptus Astartes. I think that's a lie. 7 Custodes, 6 Orc lists. Liam, here we go. They're coming back.
Here we go.
4 Dark Angels, and then 4 Chaos Knight players, which is the next big one. So it's cool to see Chaos Knights up again. And let me just see the cut of Blood Angels and Dark Angels. Yes, there's about 13 to 15 Adeptus Astartes all up. So,
which kind of makes that. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that
overall.
makes
I think
sense.
one of the things we've noticed consistently is that in those pie graphs, the different spreads of Marines have not yet been sort of combined into one Adeptus Astartes heading. And I think that's good, because I still like to see how many mono Dark Angel players are out there. But it is, at the end of the day, it is one codex for the purpose of teams. So the numbers there lie a little.
Yeah, so I've just added it up. There's 16 if we're including Codex Marines, all as in all everything in the supplement. 16 Marine players, and there's 3 Grey Knight lists as well. So yeah,
nice.
interesting.
Quite a few flavors of power armor there.
Yeah, I've been throwing a lot of Chad Stewie trainer because the matchups came up and we're playing Soli and Stewie and Gus, and I'm just been telling him that I've never heard of his Grey Knight list, and I'm probably just going to smash him. But I'll say that, and he'll 20 me, Luke.
Oh boy.
Hey,
Dineeth,
what about
I'll see you at the bottom table dating. See you then.
I'll see you in 4th place.
It's all right, guys. It's teams, so the rest of my team can carry me, even if I go 0-5.
I'm looking forward to the memes that are going to be made about this, Dineeth.
Oh man, I shouldn't have said this on a podcast, eh?
What about the 3 unknown teams? Oh, what is going on there?
What's
Does
that?
anyone see that?
Huh?
There's 3 lists that is unknown.
Wow.
Good.
As in primary faction is unknown.
Huh.
It's probably
I think
like a super.
I think the lists are there. I think they've just not picked. Because when you submit a list on DUP, you've got to sort of nominate
pick
what
a
your primary faction is.
Yeah.
They've probably just not done that, or picked unknown, which you actually can do.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
but you don't know what faction you're playing. I don't know.
It's so cool seeing that now, like, Eldari lists are like 15% of the meta. Like, there's more Eldari lists than Necron lists now. And, we were talking about some tournaments last year where there was literally 0 Eldari lists, or like 2 Harlequin lists. Yeah. And now
look, I honestly, now with the new codex, sure, it's something. It's a bit of a shock to the meta. There's definitely some things in there that are super strong, but I, for one, like seeing 30% Imperium Chaos and Eldari, essentially.
Yeah, it's a good split, like 30% or like thirds in Imperium
Or
Chaos
Xenos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think Drakari definitely had troubles for a while. It's good to see them kind of rise to the challenge with the new rules. And I'm just hoping that if the amount of time in the darkness is anything to show by, the Orc Codex is going to be the most busted thing you've ever seen. It's gonna be incredible. I'm so excited.
It's me and Camilleri are still waiting for Scions to be good boys.
Oh yeah, Scions are going to be busted.
But and it's like Sam, who's playing on our team, has been like trudging along with Drakari for like a year, and he's like, "Oh, this is so hard," and he's been like learning how to play KG. Like, there's a point where he's playing While We Stand on his 3 Ravagers, his 3 Dissy Ravagers, because he's like, that's the only way I'm going to get points in this game. So he's been doing stuff like that, and now he's just feeling the power. He's just like, this is ridiculous.
He's suffered through the pain for a year, and now he feels the power.
It's like, the training wheels just came off.
How perfect the story,
Yeah. But Luke, so you've got a bit of information actually about where people can find the stream for the weekend.
Oh yeah. Good plug. So this weekend, VTC, the guys from Art of War and Down Under Pairings have put together, or we've all made an effort to get one of our guys down there. So Hayden Walduck will be sent down from Brisbane specifically to stream the event, and we'll have the guys from Art of War Down Under commentate remotely, and also myself will be commentating as well on the weekend. So that will be organised for your viewing pleasure. It will run from the Saturday, Sunday, covering all of the tournament, and we'll be covering hopefully 3 to 4 tables, depending on how things go. So it should be good to get a nice overview of the team matchups as we go. So hopefully it'll be top teams or interesting games being put on the stream, and you'll be able to see 4 games simultaneously. So check that out on the Art of War Down Under Twitch.
Yeah, you'll see links to it on the Art of War Down Under Facebook as well. But hit it up, and I think there's a chance that we might be on the stream at some stage. I hear, Luke.
Possibly, depends on how nice I'm feeling.
Yeah, just put the Dineeth versus Stewie trainer game on, and you can watch Stewie just smash me.
Watch Stewie shoot through walls.
I think the normal blokes might even be accommodating Hayden Walduck in his sojourn down to Melbourne.
Oh my god, is he staying with us?
He is.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you guys aren't getting any sleep.
I'm staying.
No, he's staying. He's staying in a closet somewhere.
How funny was that at CanCon when he decided to sleep in the cupboard under the stairs like Harry Potter? Just because it was more comfortable than the bed.
He is 100% aware that we have all the beds sorted out, and if he wants to come down and stream, he can stay in the dishwasher or outside in the car, but he's not staying in a bed. That's the rules.
Well, it'll be good to have him down there anyway. But look, I for one am very keen to catch up with our Victorian friends who we haven't seen for a while. We caught up with a few of them at team events up here in Brisbane and in Adelaide, but there's a bunch of guys we haven't seen for a while. So if you see us on the weekend, just say hi. It'll be great to catch up. I'm keen to see some of the New South Wales guys again as well, the Brodies and stuff. So I'm pretty excited. But yeah, I guess we'll finish this episode there. It's getting a little bit late for us. Anything else you guys want to close off with?
I won't be going, so you guys make sure you have fun. Behave yourselves. And everybody listening, check out the stream. We'll probably post up links as well on our page, so keep up to date there.
That's it.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, if you enjoy the content, subscribe to us on iTunes, hit us up on Facebook and leave a good review. It helps new listeners find us. We also have a Patreon to help cover our costs. So if you hit us up at www.patreon.com/thenormalblokes, you'll see a bit about us, and, anything contributed helps to improve the quality of the streams and, get better content out for you guys. But, take it easy, guys. Apologies again for the delayed release for this one, but we'll be having some really good content after VTC as well. But have a good one. See ya.